Alright, Trekkies and Trekkers, time for the third episode review of the day with Up the Long Ladder. So, here we go. The Federation Starship Enterprise, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, receives an automated distress call from satellites orbiting a human colony on the planet Bringloid 5, which is in danger from solar flares from its star. The colony turns out to have been founded by the crew of the SS Mariposa, a freighter launched from Earth several hundred years earlier. The Bringloid colony, after Bringloidi, the Irish word for dreams, now led by an Irishman named Danilo O'Dell, are followers of an early 22nd century philosopher who advocated returning to a pre-industrial agrarian lifestyle, and when taken aboard the Enterprise, must quickly adapt to the 21st century technology. When the transfer of the colonists is complete, O'Dell informs Picard of another colony, also planted by the Mariposa. The Enterprise proceeds to the second colony, which has named itself Mariposa after their ship, half a light year away. The colony's Prime Minister, Walter Granger, is happy to see the Enterprise and welcomes them to visit. So Commander Riker beams down with Lieutenant Worf and Chief Medical Officer Dr. Pulaski. The Mariposa colony is starkly different from the Bringloidi colony, as the Mariposa colonists have kept their advanced technology and appear a refined culture to contrast to the Bringloidi's relatively primitive existence. Pulaski quickly ascertains, however, that all the inhabitants are clones. Granger reveals that their ship crashed while landing, and only 5 survivors were left to start the colony. As this was insufficient to establish a stable gene pool, and the survivors were all scientists, they turned exclusively to cloning instead, and consequently no longer have any desire for biological reproduction. For almost 3 centuries, every Mariposian has been a clone derived from one of the 5 original colonists, and now the colony is in danger of dying out because of replicative fading. Each subsequent generation introduces additional minor flaws of the genetic code, which within only a few more generations will make further clones non-viable. Ugh. The Mariposians ask the Enterprise crew for samples of their DNA to create new clones. Riker refuses, as he values his uniqueness, and Picard advises the Mariposians that the rest of the crew is likely to feel the same, so the Mariposians decide to kidnap Riker and Pulaski to steal their DNA instead. Upon discovering this, the away team beams directly to the colony's cloning labs, but they are repulsed to find copies of themselves being grown, which Riker destroys. Granger is furious, and appeals to Picard, but Pulaski argues that a new batch of clones will only delay the inevitable. Instead, she advises that they consider partnering with the Bringloidi to create a viable gene pool. Initially, each colony's leader treats the other society with disdain, but they eventually agree to merge their colonies and disparate cultures. Aw, ain't that sweet? So, yeah. Anyway, let's get something about some deleted scenes from this episode. Several scenes were filmed but later cut from the episode during editing. These were later included as features on the Star Trek The Next Generation Season 2 Blu-ray release. Some numbers are derived from the script. So let's look at some of them. So, let's see. Riker returns to the bridge after his romantic encounter with Brenna O'Dell. An alternate version of the observation lounge scene, where Granger describes the Mariposan history of cloning with a few additional lines of dialogue. Danilo O'Dell tells the Bringloidi settlers a story of the colony's founding. Data expresses a wish to further study the combined colony, and Worf recites Klingon poetry. Interesting. So I say this is a pretty interesting episode, and the whole idea of cloning and stuff like that. It's actually kind of interesting, I guess. So overall, I give Up the Long Ladder 4 warp cores out of 5. Well, join me in a bit as we take a look at Manhunt. So, until then, live long and prosper, everybody.